I say that I'm going to read a book at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. finally arrives, and yet I put it off. I say, oh, I want to eat dinner first, and then I'll go ahead and read. I eat dinner. It's 2 p.m. But then I decide that I'm going to go watch the new YouTuber video because it just came out. And I keep pushing it off and off and off until it's 8 p.m. And by the way, for me, that's late. I go to bed at 9 p.m. I pushed it off until 8 p.m. I pushed it off for 7 hours. And yet, whenever I sat down, it was a little bit uncomfortable. I got over it quickly. And then I actually liked the book. I wasted 7 hours to read for 30 minutes. And out of those two, which one do you think hurt more? Which one do you think I felt the most pain around? Was it the slight uncomfortableness of sitting down and actually opening a book? Or was it the regret of wasting 7 hours out of my day? It's pretty obvious. I still to this day regret those 7 hours that I completely wasted away, I threw away. And that's because the pain of regret hurts more than the pain of action. Regretting something hurts so much more than actually trying to sit down and do something. You probably agree with me on this. You probably have some kind of regret in your heart that you think back to every now and then, like, oh, I should not have done that, or oh, I wish I should have said this or done that. Because you still feel the regret however many months or years later. You don't even feel pain around that thing you did 3 months ago because you just did it. It wasn't a big problem. You just did it. It didn't matter how you felt back then. You still did it anyway. And now I want to go to the actual concept of this video, is that the pain of inaction hurts more than the pain of action. So we already discussed this with the regrets and just starting whatever you want to do, but think about it. Whenever you procrastinate, you're avoiding the pain of action. You don't want to sit down and do the hard work or do whatever you want to do. You're avoiding the hard work because you're stressed or you have some kind of fear, but either way, you avoid the work and so you procrastinate. And procrastination leads to the pain of inaction. Because you procrastinate, you regret that you procrastinate. And so you can either choose to sit down and feel really uncomfortable. And I'm not even going to lie to you. It feels so uncomfortable whenever you want to sit down and actually do something. But you can either choose between this or the pain of inaction. It's the slow, seeping pain. It's not immediate where you feel it whenever you want to sit down and start, but you just have that instant resistance. It's slow. It builds up. At first you don't even feel it, but then hour upon hour, upon day, upon week, it slowly builds up. And the more it builds up, the more pain that you actually feel. And the only way to escape the cycle is to go back and just go through the pain of action. It's like, the best way I would describe it is like a bank account. Whenever you take in money, it's like you're going through the pain of inaction. You're withdrawing. You're taking money away from your own bank account. And whenever you go through the pain of action, you're putting in the money. You're putting in the pain. Every time you want to make a withdrawal, every time you take out money, you're indulging yourself. You're not doing what you said you would. You're going through the pain of inaction. And whenever you actually end up doing it, you deposit, you put in a little bit. The more you withdraw, eventually you go down to zero, and then you eventually start hitting the negatives. That negative area of the bank account is where you feel the most pain. That's where you feel the biggest regret seeping up, because you realize that all this time you could have been depositing, you could have been putting in money, you could have been putting in pain, but instead you decided to take it all out now and use it. Instead, you could use the pain of action. You use it. You indulge in the pain of action and you keep putting in the pain in the bank account, you keep putting in the pain. And eventually, if you ever do want to relax, you ever do want to take a break, you have such a big balance in your bank account of pain that even if you want to take a week off, you can easily do that and not go into any debt. You won't feel any pain because you've earned it. You won't go into pain debt. You'll actually have earned that relaxation, that actual break. What I'm saying is that do take breaks. I'm not saying to just go through the pain every day. You're David Goggins. Like, none of that. You have to work. You have to definitely work. You have to earn the breaks. But take them if you need them. But the break shouldn't be your default setting. You know how like a phone has a default setting or an app where it always starts there, but you can always change it later? Make your default setting going through pain. And then if you ever want to take a break, you can switch it over just for like a week or a few days, and that's it. You'll never go into pain debt. You'll never feel that big regret piling up. And you'll always be depositing more pain that you can always take back from any time you want. But I would rather you have the choice to have a break or have that responsibility to decide when you want to take a break. Because without it, you feel that pain in your heart. You feel that regret. And it's honestly one of the worst pains you can feel. I feel like shame and regret are the two worst emotions that you can feel. Why would you willingly decide to feel one of them every time you want to procrastinate? I hope that metaphor helped you. Because personally for me, that metaphor was the number one thing that helped me. Thinking of pain as a bank account and putting in or taking out pain. And so every time I felt like I didn't want to do something, I asked myself, do I have enough to take from the bank account? And if I don't, then I might as well do it. So that later, if I ever want to, I can always take a break.